think a lot of people know, if they watch any of my streams in the past on Twitter or started to watch me on YouTube, that I'm very enthusiastic about TRVL. I got this really annoying comment from someone saying this, making fun of me, saying this is music or this is poetry. Well, anyway, you know, everyone has their own perspectives, and I'm not trying to tell people chill this to, like, we're at the lows. I'm not trying to sell you a coin that's in the highs. I'm trying to share with what I see, which is that we're in the lows, and we've created a lot of nice market structure at the lows. You know, when I look at these, this is the monthly time frame, and look at these. Look at these candles. This is January 23. This is December 22. This is 6 months. 6 monthly candles. 6 monthly candles in this range. We've created 6 monthly candles in this range at the lows. Yeah, we're not in the highs, we're in the lows. So I like that. I like that we're in the lows and we've created an extended period of consolidation. I like that. I think that's bullish. I think long consolidations are bullish. I think deep corrections are bullish. There's two kinds of bullish price action that you can see in the charts: deep corrections and long consolidations. And actually what I'm seeing is both. I'm seeing a deep correction and a long consolidation. So in my mind, I'm seeing this as healthy. I'm not seeing this as unhealthy. I'm not trying to shill people some kind of bullshit meme token. I'm just telling you what I see. Now, if people do their own research about Dtravel, about TRVL, and they come to the same conclusions as I have about the fundamentals of this project and the real world application that's being built and that's being developed, and that's live at the moment, then people will accumulate just like I have and just like I am. And if people have their different ideas about the future, so be it. It's no big deal, you know. Like everyone has a different kind of mental frame about what they want to do, what they want to achieve. I see people make a ton of money just by flipping pumps, you know, and a large portion of what they're doing is gambling, effectively. So I think in the context of the bull market, a lot of people are going to be gambling. And like I said previously in previous videos, it's very easy to make money in a bull market because it's very forgiving. Because even if you make mistakes, you're not punished. The price often will come back and save you, even if you make mistakes. And I think fundamentally you can become extremely complacent, especially as time passes, because you think you're invincible, because you think you've developed, you're an amazing trader, or you can understand, you can read the market, but effectively all you're doing is you're just buying a pump and you're in profit very quickly. And sometimes that becomes very lucrative for a lot of people. You can do that, but ultimately what I've noticed, or what I've seen in the past, is it always comes to bite people for whatever reason, because they don't have good risk management, and then suddenly something happens that they didn't plan for, they didn't expect, or they didn't they weren't actually executing a trade plan, they were just gambling. And it usually catches people when they are most off guard, and when they are most complacent, and that will be when they've made a heck of a lot of money and they really don't know what they're doing. So I see a lot of tweets and people saying, you know, I'm on this and that, I've made this much money and da. And we don't even know if that's true or not, because I think we're in a kind of social media moment where people are trying to gain as many followers as possible And it's quite easy to gain followers when you're telling people that you've found the 10x, 10,000x, whatever gem, and you've made a crap load of money. I think it's easy to attract people like that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that people will do in the context of a bull market is consistently take profit into USDT and don't bring that back into the crypto market. That's very important. And I think we're not at that place right now. We're still quite early. I think once Bitcoin starts to approach $80,000 or $90,000, $100,000, like once it gets to that higher range, above the all-time high, then people have to start thinking about taking profit into USD and not bringing it back. It's really important. So you're locking away profit and you're not going to bring that back. And in the same way that I've said, you people should try and scale in at the peak of the bull market. I think people should try and scale out, and that way you're not FOMOing back in when you're scaling out, because it doesn't really matter what price you get out. What matters is that you're slowly, on a regular basis, extracting the higher value. And on average, you'll get the highs. You'll catch the highs in the same way that what I'm saying now, you can catch the lows by scaling in, you know. And I think a lot of coins are pumping and they're doing quite well. And I'm looking at them and I'm wondering, you know, what are people thinking? I mean, are they just trying to chase the pump? And I think in the context of the coins that do well later on, it's better that these coins do well now. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but I think a lot of people want to make money now quickly, so they should. But ultimately, when I look at TRVL, I'm going, okay, well, people are making money elsewhere. Eventually, the spotlight's going to come onto TRVL. And they're going to have a heck of a lot of capital to do with, you know. And so actually, in the context of these smaller coins, pumping later could be much more, the move could be much more violent. Because there's going to be a lot more disposable capital, and people are going to be a lot more risky in the way they trade, in the way they behave, you know. And so actually what you'll see towards the end of the bull market is a lot of these kind of lower market cap coins will end up pumping a lot more than people realize, and people understand and contemplate. So I'm not really worried. I'm not chasing the pump. I'm looking at these other coins. I'm seeing a lot of opportunities. And what I will do is I'll take a small trade and just try and build a small, you know, my trading position. But I will keep that very separate to my long-term investment positions. I won't let them mix. And with the long-term investment position, you're just dollar cost averaging. That's the way to approach it. TRVL printed the higher time frame candles yesterday. There's a little bit of divergence on the exchanges, and I'll just quickly show you. So if you look at the weekly time frame, this is MEX C. So you see the weekly time frame printed a red inverse candle on MEX, and on Gate we had a green candle, see that? And on KuCoin it was a red candle, and on Bybit it was a red candle. So I think that's quite interesting for me, because the one that stood apart was Gate. Gate printed a green candle, right? So in the context of candles, obviously green is a bullish candle. Yeah. Red is a bearish candle, green is a bullish candle. So because Gate was the only exchange that printed a bullish candle, a green one, that's going to tell us something about these exchanges and which one is actually giving us the best data. Because if now we start to see a bullish continuation, then it would suggest that Gate was more correct in terms of what it was telling us. And obviously if we start to see some kind of bearish movement. And the way what I would, looking at this candle, it could be an evening star doji, yeah, on the weekly time frame. That could be an evening star doji. That's what it looks like, yeah. And the confirmation of an evening star doji, you'd expect the next candle to be a red candle coming down to this level here. That would be green, evening star doji, red, and then another, followed by another red candle closing down here, and then you'd have a 2-week reversal pattern. That would be, the whole structure would become a reversal pattern on the weekly time frame, right? But you would expect to see that with this kind of red candle. If we see that, then we're seeing divergence between the exchanges, because obviously on Gate it's telling us a different story. Gate doesn't look like that. Gate actually looks like we're making, it looks like bullish continuation off of this green expansion candle with a back test into this trend line, and now we're seeing bullish continuation. So we're getting a little bit of divergence between the different exchanges, and I think eventually what we want to see is the exchanges to tell us the same thing, to be on the same page. We're not getting that right now. So that's something to bear in mind. And maybe the indecision that we're experiencing in the way the price is moving is partly because the exchanges are saying different things. And, you know, people will be charting on one exchange, they'll be charting, they're not doing what I'm doing, which is looking at all the exchanges. Most people don't do that. But luckily, you know, with TRVL, there aren't many exchanges to look at. So, and it's a hobby for me. I like this. It's like I enjoy this, so why not? It's fun. One thing to note though was that we did, I found this new kind of channel yesterday. I was looking at the channel and I was thinking, okay, maybe there's something that if I was to connect these two lows here, could I form some kind of parallel channel with something higher up? And I think this is looking a little bit, I like the looks of this. So I was just trying to contemplate a bull market channel to follow off these two lows that were formed. And I am kind of falling in love with this channel now as a point of reference. And obviously when it gets to the certain levels, we'll be able to see if this channel works or not. Then the other thing I was having a look at was a pitchfork. I don't know if anyone's used pitchforks before, but I like pitchforks. If they can give you an idea of, was it on Gate that I did it? Let me have a look. Pitchfork, yeah, there is. So at the moment I'm looking at Gate as my chart of choice, just because I like this green bullish weekly candle. So let's see. So I created this pitchfork from the first significant all-time low to the first high of the rally down to the all-time low, and I'm not using any, it's just the original pitchfork, not the shift or the modified. And that actually gives me a slightly steeper line of ascent off the bottom, rather than take it from the low to the low, which is what I was initially contemplating, which is like that. Like that. I'm actually thinking maybe it could be a little bit steeper, because actually these pitchforks can sometimes be very powerful, because they're not just telling you about trend lines, but also telling you about structure and the way the structure is moving, you know. And so in my mind it would be very viable for us to, let me see, if get to July, August, September, see if we were to get, to the top of this pitchfork by about August, September, that would be right. Look, see, we're up at the highs, 1.5, so it's my June at the top of this pitchfork. If there was if we did kind of somehow go up, and then don't know how we would do that, but that would make this pitchfork work, and then it could come back down to go back up. But I mean, even by the end of the bull market, which is towards the end of 25, like September, October, it does kind of line up with my potentially with my higher targets. And actually that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something that could give me some kind of reach into the higher targets that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this very kind of bullish, in a very bullish way. And at the same time, I'm also thinking to myself that most of these tokens, they do go up some kind of bullish channel. And that channel starts somewhere at the lows. And I was just trying to think, where could it start and how would it start? And sometimes that's why it's good when you have this kind of formation where you have two significant lows and a rally, you can create some kind of idea like that. And if you look at Bitcoin and the other kind of coins that have been out for a long time, sometimes these pitchforks do begin and they do form future price action. It's something to think about. What else is there to look at? So yeah, I was looking at... So what we have right now looming upon us is on the daily time frame is this. I said it was coming. It's almost there. It's almost there. We have potentially we have the formation of a golden cross on the moving averages. So the yellow one is the 50 simple moving average, and the orange one is the 200. And as they cross, as the 50 comes above the 200, that's called the golden cross, right? And that just basically signifies a shift in the price momentum from down to up, basically. And when you look at the other exchanges, we're pretty much on time, yeah. So I mean, on Gate, it should happen tomorrow, really. We should have a cross tomorrow. And so if I go back 50 periods from today, we're gonna lose tomorrow's candle is this red, this one here. We'll lose that one. So basically replacing the close, which is there, we're closing that price with whatever the price of the close is today, which is here, somewhere here. And so that means that this 50 will come up a little bit. And at the same time, the same thing is happening with the 200. So we're replacing the price of the period. So if you go back 200 periods, so from today's candle, you go back 200 periods. That's 200 from today. So we're losing this the price of this green candle there, which is higher. See, it's higher. So it's higher, it's like here. And we're replacing it with a lower price, with somewhere here. So actually what that means is that orange candle will go down a bit as well. So tomorrow, what you're going to see is this orange line will go down a little bit, this yellow line will go up a little bit, and that will cross. That's called a golden cross. And you know, I didn't make this up. Golden cross trading. What is a golden cross? A golden cross is a chart pattern in which a relatively short-term moving average crosses above a long-term moving average. The golden cross is a bullish breakout pattern. See that? Formed from a crossover involving a security's short-term moving average, such as the 50-day moving average, crossing above its long-term moving average, such as the 200-day. See, I'm not making this up. This is legit. This is real. A golden cross is a technical chart pattern indicating a potential for a major rally. The golden cross appears on the chart when a stock's short-term moving. See, look, see that? A chart pattern used in technical analysis which sorts. See, that's the cross. How does the cross form? Example. So look, they're showing us an example too, which is what I'm basically describing. Yeah. Oh yeah, the reversal is a death cross. And limitations. See, all indicators are lagging, which means the data used to form a chart has already occurred. Well, I mean, even if this, like, it is a lagging indicator, and that's correct. So again, this is the context is key. When we were looking at the golden cross last year in February, the price had already expanded and was already on its way down, you see. So from here, we had a golden cross and the price was already on its way down. So you couldn't, it didn't signify anything except that it got people in trouble. And then again, the death cross happened here. Yeah. The price, as it happened, the price started to go up. But actually, this death cross was correct because from wherever we were, this range, the price did go down. I think it's very different now because look where the price is. The price is just above this cross and it's not extended. It hasn't rallied yet. We're still consolidating. We're consolidating. We're actually consolidating above the point of control, which is the highest in this lower range from when we lost 9 cents. Draw it out so you can see again. Let me draw it out. Where did we lose 9 cents? Here. So we lost 9 cents here. So this is the lower range. This is called deviation from the range. This is the lower range, and actually we lost it in this candle. This again, that's another deviation, but actually we're in the lower range. So you do a volume profile. You create a volume profile of this lower range. Oh, actually, look. So this is the thing about the exchanges. On some exchanges, we're above the point of control. So on Gate, we're still actually below the point of control. But we are at the point of control. So this is where most of the volume on Gate in this lower range. Oh, so we're still underneath it. We're above it slightly. On the other exchanges, we're above it. So there's a little bit of divergence in the data that we're getting from the different exchanges. And I think that's leading to a more prolonged range in a period of consolidation. Because at the moment, people are seeing different levels and different data and they're acting and behaving differently. And it's only when people start behaving in the same way at the same time that the price starts to make its move in a very kind of impulsively. But yeah, so this bullish this golden cross is quite bullish, and you know it's known. It's a thing. Look, what's the difference? Just go and Google it. 3 best strategies to trade a Golden Cross. Let's see what they say. I'm not trading it, I'm just accumulating. But anyway. Let me see if I see anything. I'll skim it quickly. So there's no right answer here. Exactly. It's very subjective. When you see a fast moving average crossing a slow moving average to the upside, you are officially on an uptrend. So tomorrow the uptrend begins. That's what we want. Tomorrow it begins. 5 biggest mistakes. Okay, if the market is sideways. Well, the market isn't sideways. We're going into a reversal from down to bottom. Trading, yeah, look, see, trading across after a big vertical move. Well, we haven't had that. Yeah, that's what the previous one was incorrect. Because this was the previous one. The cross happened after the move. We haven't experienced that yet. So actually, you can trade the cross now. Price coming from a long time. And we haven't had that either. Because we're in a downtrend. We haven't had an uptrend. All right. Entering your trade at the top. Well, you're not going to do that because you're right at the lows. We're on a, it doesn't actually tell you how to trade it, but I mean, I'm telling you how to trade it, just accumulate. I think if you want to trade the cross, I'm keeping it very simple. The great thing about the price and the cross is we're basically on par. We're at the same level. We're at the same point. Yeah. We are, the cross is only 9% below us. As far as I'm concerned, we're at the same level. And the good thing is that we're above the cross. So you would expect that these 2 moving averages will act as support. That's what you're expecting. That's the way they're going to behave. You know, that's like buying at 2.8 cents would be the buy of a lifetime on this asset right now, because you're buying on the cross of 2 major moving averages and it's about to turn at the lows, right? But if you want to, let me hide all this shit. Let me hide all this. Get rid of that pitchfork and fib and trend line, horizontal. Get rid of all this shit. And then let's see. If you want to just simply trade, like if you want to just keep it simple, yeah. The thing is, no one can predict the future. No one can know the future, and so we don't really know how this token and this asset, this real world asset, Dtravel, TRVL is going to perform in the future. No one really knows. Like, I've got my ideas of where there are certain like levels of key resistance in the future, but ultimately we're at the beginning of something very new when it comes to RWA, when it comes to real world assets. And I think when I come to look at Twitter, when I come to look at the crypto hype, really up till now, TRVL has been off the radar for different reasons, and I'm not here to highlight those reasons. For whatever reason, no one knows about Dtravel, no one knows about TRVL. Let's just be realistic and honest about the situation right now. So it's an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity for everyone who's listening to me, watching these videos. This is an opportunity. It's not negative, it's positive, because no one knows. No one has heard. no one realizes, okay? And I think the large part of the problem is that a lot of people are very, I don't know, they lack the ability to go and do further research. A lot of people follow the hype train, and on the most part, I think a lot of the major players in the crypto sphere, crypto influencing sphere, they're shilling tokens where they have actually accumulated large positions, not necessarily tokens which might necessarily be good tokens or long-term tokens, you know. And I can't pinpoint people, but I get that vibe in the crypto sphere and the crypto Twitter. A lot of these people have been around for a long time. They have huge Telegram followings, and all they're doing is trying to build their Telegram, and they keep on announcing that they're going to announce this amazing 10,000x or whatever in the next 2 days, only to people who follow their Telegram. And what you don't see is that these people are slowly accumulating those low market cap tokens in the meantime, and then once they announce it, naturally their following goes and market buys, and this is what's happening, rinse and repeat. It's happening all the time. There is no reflection of value in that kind of behavior, and oftentimes these people, what they'll do is they will take profit with the volume that comes in after they've accumulated, and they say, I've done the research, I found another 1000x, whatever. I see it all the time. There's lots of these Telegram. I'm following them now. There's lots of people. I don't. Do you know, like, I know a lot of the time, yeah, people will make money in the bull market. They will make money, but you know, will those projects last the test of time? Who knows? No one really knows. This may happen with this token too, you know, and I don't know if I want it to happen, but it may happen. But actually, what I would prefer is for a healthier rise, a real rise based on genuine interest and genuine hype. And actually, what I would prefer is for like significant, large, longer term, big investors to come in. You know, not these kind of short term pump and dumpers, flippers, you know. But anyway, that's who knows what's going to happen. So I was just saying, who knows what's going to happen. This Golden Cross could be the beginning of a Golden Cross that could last for years, and that's just the reality of the future and what we're potentially experiencing. You just don't know how long this is going to last, and that could be your trade. You could hold this position in this token until you see a death cross in the future, and that might be years. We just don't know how long that's going to be. We don't know how far this is going to go. The 50 moving average could start going up in waves. The 200 is going to turn, and who knows when they're going to cross back to form a death cross. You know, who knows? Who knows? And then when it does, that could be your exit. That could be your trade. Until you see a death cross, that could be your trade. You wait for the first pullback and you exit. And it could be really that simple for most people who are looking to exit. And then they're not stressed about when to take profit, when to exit, when to scale back, because actually you have an invalidation now. It's the death cross, and this is a very, very, very easy trade now. It's this Golden Cross has made it very easy for anyone who's in right now. This Golden Cross is about to make it very easy for everyone, yeah, because fundamentally you could just wait until the death cross, yeah. And in the meantime, if you want a very simple strategy for accumulating, yeah, either you do it based on your own kind of higher time frame analysis and just scale in on red candles or red weekly candles, or just do it on a daily basis, or every time because the 50 moving average is a fast moving average, and so as the price goes up, the 50 moving average is going to slowly come up. It's going to slowly follow the price. And so what you can do is when the price comes back down on a pullback, every time the price comes and hits the 50, you could buy. That would be like buying the dip every time the price hits the 50. And you're basically then the 50 will continue and the price will go up, and then the price will come back down and it comes back to the 50. You could, every time the price hits the 50 moving average, you could buy. That would be like buying the dip. You just wait for the price to come back down to pull back to the 50, and just keep on doing that, and then you're just following momentum. You just keep on buying. The dip would be to buy the 50 moving average, because that's what's happening now. The 50 is about to turn over the 200, and then the 200 is just going to slowly rotate around like that, and that's what the 200 is going to do, you know. But the momentum is going to be with the 50 moving average, you know, and obviously different people have their own different moving averages to go by. But actually, I mean, people, just to keep it really simple, I think keeping it simple is going to keep you out of trouble when it comes to knowing when to take profit, when to, when to enter, you know. I think just keeping it simple is going to help. And ideally, this would be the best strategy, to just let the 50 guide the price. And what we'll be expecting to see over the next year or two is the price coming back to the 50 moving average, and that will be a really good place to keep on adding if that's what you want to do. And I think that's a good strategy. And your final kind of exit plan, if you're looking for an exit or just to scale back, would be the death cross, you know. So eventually in the future, the momentum is going to come out of the token, and the 50 is going to turn, and then you're going to get this 200 is going to come up like that, and eventually, you know, you're going to get some kind of death cross, you know. And then wherever the price is, you know, could be down here, or you could just sell the first pullback, and that would be a perfectly acceptable trade. Perfectly acceptable trade, and it's very stress-free. And from where we are now to wherever the death cross is, that will be your X, and then you don't have to worry about where and when and to take profit or whatever. It's very stress-free. And I think keeping it simple and keeping it stress-free is the best plan, yeah. And that would be a trade, and then you don't even have to worry about the higher targets. And the good thing about that kind of behavior is that, like I said, we just don't know how far this is going to go. No one knows, yeah. And in my mind, my first like higher target is going to be $23.50, close to 25. But real world assets, no one knows. No one knows what's going to happen. And I'm contemplating a future and imagining a future where Dtravel is going to be known by everyone in crypto, because the fundamental thing that people will want to do is to go on holiday, to go on vacation, to travel, yeah. And they're going to have a shitload of crypto, and they're going to want to spend it. And they're going to be, Dtravel is going to be on everyone's radar, and then people are going to go, oh my god, this is really good. Why haven't I got some of this token? And you're going to get a lot of interest once this AI search engine Sensei is launched. Once we're on the major exchanges and there's a lot more liquidity, a large portion of the big players are going to join in, yeah. And all of a sudden you're going to get some very wealthy people who are going to accumulate this token at higher prices. That's what's going to happen. Generally speaking, people are waiting for some kind of bullish reversal. And on this chart, when I'm looking at it, what would signify a higher time frame bullish reversal. Well, look at it. We have to take out this high. We have to take out that high. We've changed market structure on the daily time frame, but on the higher time frame, on the weekly time frame, yeah, on the weekly time frame, this is your lower low. Gotta take that out. That's your lower high. See that? Lower low. Do this again. This is your lower low. This is your lower high. This is your lower low. We have to make a higher high. So we have to take out this high. Yeah. So on the higher time frame, you take out the high there. That's your higher high. And now you have to make a higher low because you're still in a lower low position here. That's your higher high. That's your first change of market structure on the weekly time frame. You make your higher high at the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, we're already in bullish market structure. We've already changed bullish market structure on the daily time frame to a bullish market structure. We're already making higher highs and higher lows on the daily time frame. So that's the beginning. But actually, what we want to do now on the highest time frame, which is the weekly, is we need to make a higher high. So if we can make a higher high on the weekly time frame, then we'd be looking for a higher low, okay, and then continuation, which would be a higher high. And once we confirm the weekly structure change, you know, however it forms, then a lot of people are going to be interested in this token. A lot of people will see the structure change on the higher time frame, and they're going to be interested in trading this token, right? But we're going to be in. We're in now. You know, we're all in right now. All of us are in now. So by the time that happens, you know, you take out this high, that's already like a 5x up, you know. By the time you take out that high to make a higher high, that would be your higher high. And that's when you're going to get an injection of volume. That's the injection of volume right there. So, who knows when that's going to happen? I can't predict when. And it doesn't have to happen like this. And this is like, I'm just kind of laying it down so people can see. And just to simplify it, but get a candle up there, that's your higher high. Come down here, that's your higher low. Continuation, you know, like, it doesn't have to happen the way I've just described it. If someone tomorrow says, I want to buy $1 million worth of TRVL, that's like 10% of the circulating supply. Price is going to be trading at like 50 cents tomorrow. That happens, or 60 cents, whatever. They'll have to accumulate it on all the edges, probably on the MEX and gate at the same time, if that's what they really want to do, you know. But it could happen because I'm looking at the in the bull market now, and there's a lot of people making a heck of a load of money, crazy amounts of money. And a lot of these people are just high risk traders who have a lot of experience with the bull market from previous times, and it would, you know, and they may just come in and just buy up a whole bunch of tokens right now, because all they have to do is go and have a look at the website and have a look at what's happening on Telegram, and then obviously, I think, as I've been saying, once they start looking at the new proposals for the future, then I think a lot of people are going to get interested. So let's see what happens. I mean, it's quite interesting to follow this, and you know, one day together we're all going to be like really wealthy, and we can have a party. get Dtravel to host a party somewhere on the boats in the Mediterranean. Everyone who was in from the beginning, from here. That would be fun. Yeah, that's basically